I'm going to say something really Aussie to start the show today, Connor.
G'day.
It is an absolute stinker today.
Yeah, mate.
Oh, it is so warm, mate. Just couldn't wait to get home and have a nice cold beer.
For American viewers, this is in Fahrenheit.
Right. Why are we doing Fahrenheit?
Because American people listen. 106 Fahrenheit.
I mean...
so it was 42 degrees.
I was going to say,
Fahrenheit.
for everyone else, 42 degrees.
People, you know how many times people are like, can you tell me that in Fahrenheit?
What, in Australia?
No, for like guests, viewers.
Right, okay.
Our American cousins.
Interesting. Well, point is, absolute stinker today. It was a sauna in here. I came in an hour ago and just got the aircon pumping. So right now, it's like an okay temperature.
Stupidly hot.
But in about 20 minutes, you're just going to see all this sweat start to build. It's going to be hot and sexy, I'd say.
Do you know what my response to that is?
What?
Relax, fuckhead. Have a grog.
I'm having a grog.
Nah, look what I got.
What do you got?
Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, you've actually got a drink called grog.
Do you know what this is?
Grog.
This is grog. This is made... do you watch Cold Ones?
I know hot ones.
Cold Ones.
Is that... Do cold ones make the hot ones?
No.
Right.
Oh, you don't know Cold Ones? Oh, you don't watch much YouTube, do you? No, this is...
just myself.
Max Mofo.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no,
Max
I know what you're
Mofo
talking
and Chad.
Right.
Who was literally, by the way, when you were in Japan and you were at Super Mario World.
Yeah.
That was what park?
In Universal Studios in Osaka.
You were there the exact same day as him.
Yeah, man. We went together.
Right.
Friends.
Anyway,
Best
this is their drink, grog.
Yeah, it's nice to see you shaking it up because you do love the Summersby, and there's not a problem with that. But always, I love doing the little. What are we drinking today? I'm just drinking seltzer again today.
But this is a seltzer, so I thought you should try it.
Oh, so you're having seltzer? I'd love to try.
No,
it.
I only have one left, but
I'll have a suckle. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it's a seltzer.
Well, that's quite good. That's quite sweet for a seltzer. Yeah.
You know I like them sweet.
Yes, you do. Guys, we are the 50% Doctor Who podcast where we talk about Doctor Who roughly 50% of the time. Later in the show today, we're going to be talking about the Sarah Jane Adventures. So not even Doctor Who. Revenge of the Slitheen is what we're going to be talking about later in today, which is the first episode of Series 1 of the Sarah Jane Adventures, but not the first episode of all of Sarah Jane Adventures. No.
There was a special before it.
They did a New Year's special before, and we got our review of that we put out earlier in the year, so go check that one out if you haven't already.
So if you don't know, we're going to be doing Sarah Jane first week of every month.
Yes, so you're getting one Sarah Jane review a month, because they're not for everyone, and I get that, but I also think if you have never watched Sarah Jane Adventures before, you've wanted to give it a crack, or you've not watched it since you were a kid, why not come on this monthly adventure with us, right?
So by the time we finish season 5, it will be like 3 years?
I mean, maybe we'll speed it up at some point. Right. I don't know. But at the moment, we're doing one a month. So yeah, in like 2 or 3 years, we'll finish Sarah Jane Adventures.
This is like the old days of Doctor Who.
We need content. So
we do need content.
We do. It's hard times at the moment.
Yeah, it's so hard being a creator, a YouTuber. You know,
the old Who tubers, as they say.
Who thought doing a podcast about Doctor Who when it's only on like
1% of the year?
Yeah, 1% of the year with new content.
Which is a nice transition into a little bit of news.
Yes.
Right? Which is that in the latest Doctor Who magazine, Russell T Davies has confirmed that, in fact, Doctor Who Season 1 was meant to come out in January. So that's Season 1/Season 14, whatever you want to call it, was meant to drop in January, only a few weeks, I suppose, after the Christmas special. Conor, after the theme tune, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor, on TikTok at 50Doctor Who. I'm posting so much over there at the moment. Connor's got them on the Instagram.
I've been doing good.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
I've been posting it, and they're a hit on the gram as well. Everyone loves them.
Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you follow us. Give us the 5-star review on Spotify. And we have a little bit of Ko-fi if you want to donate us a little bit of money to give back to the show. It all goes back into making the show better and better. So
There's a thanks button too if you want to donate through there.
Absolutely.
On YouTube.
Let's get on with the review.
Pod.
That went well.
50% podcast.
At the moment,
I'm guessing your laptop's still fucked.
My computer is absolutely buggered at the moment, so we're not playing the Stings live on the show. We're just miming like the Stings would be there.
Just moving to the beat.
So it's really awkward during the pod. Anyways, Conor, what are your thoughts? Doctor Who Season 1 was supposed to air in January. Now it's airing in May. Do you care at all? Does this matter to you? Do you give a shit?
I think a break's always good because you gain a hunger, and I think I needed a break.
Yeah.
Just because like I don't know if I'd appreciate. I want to build that hunger up again for it. At the moment, I'm like, Doctor Who.
Doctor Who cares.
Yeah, who cares?
Doctor
I'm
Who
like,
gives a fuck.
Who? I saw today. I think it's like 3 months till New Who or something like that.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not long. Like it's literally it's February 1st. Like where did this month go already? Like time's moving faster anyway. That's my conspiracy. So we'll be 3 months. That's like 2 weeks, pretty much. You know. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with it.
I don't really care. I prefer this big gap because after the 60th and the Christmas special, I was full. I was so full of Doctor Who, and I know it was only 4 episodes, but the thing is, those 3 60th specials were so big, and they did so much from like by generation, dealing with the Dr. Donna,
Timeless children,
giving you one of the best episodes of Doctor Who ever in Wabble Yonder.
Yeah.
And introducing a brand new Doctor and companion so freaking much in 4 episodes.
So much more.
So I kind of needed this little gap to reset, and it also gives us just more stuff to look forward to.
How do you feel though so it'll be airing in May.
Yeah.
So that means that it'll be finishing in July.
Yep.
And then we won't get an episode till Christmas.
That's fine. It's like you get Doctor Who every 6 months. That's so much better than what we've had.
And then do you think next year it'll be the same? It'll be like April, May.
Russell
we'll
mentioned
be like that forever.
Russell mentioned a few months ago that he was writing something that was due to air in May 2025. So
yeah, it makes sense.
Makes it look like they're gonna go to a schedule, and it's gonna be like May to June every year. I think.
Look, you gotta obviously like stretch it out throughout the year. I do think at this point we would have a confirmation of like a spin-off, and I thought that
that's been interesting, isn't it?
It would have been cool this year to have something.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
I understand.
Hopefully next year.
He probably wants to get a couple of seasons, not just the specials.
But how long is he going to stay for, though? Like, is he going to stay after Shooty?
He'll be here for years, mate.
You reckon years and years?
I think, everyone's saying he's doing 3 or 4 seasons. I think if he can keep himself feeling refreshed enough with the show by bringing in new companions almost every season, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a big lure for him. I'm not saying he's going to be Kevin Feige and do it indefinitely, but I wouldn't put a deadline on when it's going to finish.
What if he just never leaves?
Is that a bad thing? Probably, yeah.
Probably.
No, but as long as there's always like fresh blood coming in and new visions. But the interesting thing, and just I guess slight follow up on last week with the whole Millie Gibson shabobble, is that I think Russell, he's known for his limited seasons, right? Every single show he's done, other than Doctor Who, has run for 1 season. Yes, Kura's Folk ran for a season 2, but season 2 was 2 episodes. So it's like, at the end of the day, that's basically just 2 extra specials.
Right.
So, and then his time on Doctor Who was a lot of 1 season companions. If it wasn't a 1 season companion, it was a 1 season Doctor. So he very much likes to just keep things fresh. He's not one that likes to tread familiar ground, and as much as the 60th kind of argues against that, I suppose, he likes to bring in new characters and new plot lines, doesn't want to stretch out character arcs, wants to keep it exciting. Yeah, no,
I think as well. Like, I mean, I'm keen for Russell to run the ship. I want to make sure there's some good guest writers in there.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, this will be a good clip.
Sure.
It's highly. I know you've called BS in this in the past. I'd like to get your take on this. There's high rumors that episode 3 is Stephen Moffat's episode. Your thoughts, Aidan?
Bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
Why is it bullshit? Can you have a little bit of optimism, please?
Why would he be back?
Why wouldn't he be back?
Because he runs his own.
Russell's town, baby.
He runs his own shows. He's written Doctor Who to death.
It's one episode.
If he's back, I will eat my hat, but I'll be ecstatic. I'll be through the roof. But it's the whole thing.
Oh, could you imagine if they co-wrote it together?
I don't even want to fan wank over that right now.
Could you imagine how crazy that would be? If written by Ross T. Davies and Stephen Moffat. I'd just be like, what the fuck?
We have such limited episodes coming out now, and 8 episodes is a good episode count for a season in 2024. Not mad about that. But in that, when you've got 4 of them being written by Russell...
And 1 by Stephen.
It's 1 by Stephen, and then you're leaving 3 for guest writers. It's like,
I would say for season 1, expect to see Russell's name on everything, pretty much. Even if it's...
There's a chance.
It'd be co-written.
Maybe not everything.
Maybe 1 or 2.
I could. No, I reckon it'll.
We know episode 3 is Stephen. We
know that, do we?
Yeah, we know.
This is the
I
most
said it, so we know.
bullshit thing ever.
Episode 1 and 2, I would bet money is Russell. We know the political episode's him.
That's not till like mid-season though. The political one.
Do you know how mid-season now is like episode 4? Yeah. What kind of fucking day and age do we live in?
2024, baby.
Are they hour-long episodes or are they?
I reckon they'll be like 50. I don't care. People get like...
Remember-
people lose their shit over the... I'm not saying you do, but people are
Probably
like...
is me.
People are like, oh, if they're only 8 episodes rather than 10, they need to at least be like
They
60
better
minutes.
be an hour.
I'm like, I don't care. Just let it run as long as it runs. As long as they're not doing Mando and they're dropping like random 35-minute episodes. Because I think every show needs to have a rhythm. And I think you do have like 10 to 20 minutes leeway of that rhythm. But when you get shows like Mando where it's like you have like a 50-minute episode, then you've got like some light-hearted 35-minute episode. I don't really like that kind of jump. I think I wouldn't want to see one under like 42 minutes, I guess.
Don't say something in 6 words that you can say in 3 words, is what I always say.
Yeah, I've heard you say that.
Yeah.
I actually never have, but
I remember when Tribunal Zero announced like an extra 5 minutes.
and everyone went crazy.
What the fuck was that about? What did they achieve in 5 minutes? Like,
Yeah, and I think most of them didn't even have an extra 5 minutes on them, but that's okay. Not mad about it.
it's funny because like I think the 60th specials were, I think it's understandable why they were an hour, but I think I agree. Like, I think there was pacing issues throughout all 3 episodes.
I'd say maybe the Wild Yonder could have been slightly tighter at the start, but I also think that's part of the excitement of it, the suspense of it. Sorry.
I found that good refreshing.
Yeah.
Your comment,
Oh, what?
King. I don't know.
Are you agreeing? Is that what you're saying?
I agree. I think.
Yeah.
Look, I think it works in the first viewing, but like if you're rewatching it, you're like, all right, Doctor, we get it.
Yeah.
You're at the end of the universe. You have
Yeah.
to pause for 5 seconds against the glass.
Which I do love those scenes. I actually...
Me too.
I don't think there's a pacing issue there, but I do understand once you've seen it a few times, those scenes do drag a little bit.
Yeah, I do want to. Yeah, I do want to preface that, like, you know, I'm not mad if they're not an hour long. Like,
Yeah.
I say do what you need to do.
Well, here's my counter argument to this is that I think the Star Beast is 10 minutes too short, and I think the Giggle is 5 minutes too long. So there you go. The Giggle is the longer episode.
What scene in Giggle did you think was too long?
I think just cut down the resolution. It doesn't need to be anywhere near. Like, all the jumping between TARDISes 4 times is just bollocks. And there's a lot of dialogue in there that's a little bit too wanky for my cup of tea. But
I think for me, it's the scene when they go to the toy maker shop and they run to the hallway of doors. I think the pace is a bit off.
I love that.
Uh,
No, I'll let you have it. You keep talking.
Let me cook.
Yeah.
I think, like, I just think pacing-wise, I love it too, but I just think there's a scene where, like, they're running around a bit too much, and then they stop, they have that deep chat, and then they run around a little bit more, and then a few things happen, and then they meet up again, and then they go to the big theater with the worldwide premiere. I think... What the fuck do I know? I guess I'm just saying,
fair.
like, my piece, but, you know.
I personally think the first, like, 45 minutes of the Giggle are, like, perfect. Genuinely.
That's good.
And then it's just the end. And the end doesn't shit the bed. It just...
Oh yeah, I love broad drama.
It lingers. And then there's a couple of lines towards the end, like, David being like, we could be celestial. Where I'm like, fuck off.
We get it. The
give me this.
celestial toy maker.
All right, Connor. I got a little game for us. Well, it's not really a game, but it kind of is a game.
All right,
guess.
I like games.
So this is my top pickup lines for all you lovely people looking for a lovely partner over the Valentine's Day period. Maybe Connor might be able to use these on his hot date coming up tomorrow.
Okay.
And Connor, what I want to do is I want to read these pickup lines out. I want you to give me like a rating out of 10 on each one, okay? Right. Like 10 being, you know, just take your clothes off already. Let's go smash.
we fucking
0 being, you know, that's grim. Get out, you absolute loser, okay?
All right.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I've written some of these myself, and I've got some from online, but here are some incredible Doctor Who pickup lines.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, feeling the romance. Feeling that romance.
Feeling the romance, yeah. Okay. All right.
All right, they probably start a little grimmer and get a bit better. I sort of tried to organize them a little bit, so we're all building up, okay?
All right.
All right. Are you David Tennant?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're a 10.
Wow, that's good. Okay.
What are you going to rate that out of 10?
Are we talking on the probability of them even knowing, like, David Tennant's a doctor? And
Just don't think that much into it.
Don't think that much into it?
Imagine they're a Doctor Who fan, okay?
8.
That's an 8?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
That's pretty good.
What about,
If
hey
they're
babe.
a Doctor Who fan.
Hey babe.
Yeah.
Are you the last human? Because I want to moisturize you.
Oh my god.
How's that one?
Oh
no.
7.
7?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
God damn, okay.
That's pretty good.
You're so hot, you've given me Torchwood.
Fuck, that's good. That's a good 9, I reckon.
That's a good 9?
Yeah, you tortured my wood. I like that.
Alright, they call my penis the TARDIS. It's bigger when it's inside.
Okay, that is... Did you come up with these?
A lot of these ones now I've fished from various places online.
That's got a good 9 too.
Yeah? Care to see my beast below?
Oh, these are good. That's all.
What's the rating?
That's a good 9, I reckon.
9?
I'm being kind.
You're
but
being very kind.
These are good. Not 9's pretty high, but I like this.
This next one, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
The beast below.
Can I stick my fish fingers in your custard?
Okay, that gets a 5.
A 5? You don't like that one? Okay, alright.
It kind of makes it feel a bit icky.
Is your name TARDIS? Because I could ride you through time and space.
3. Ride you.
Every time I regenerate, my penis gets bigger.
Alright. 5. Yeah.
I'm like a weeping angel. When you look at me, I get hard as stone.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's a good 8.
That's an 8? Okay, alright, last one.
Alright.
People call me the Doctor, but you can call me Tonight.
Oh my god. 7.
It's a 7?
6.
Really?
So you can call me tonight. People call me the Doctor, but you can call me tonight. As in, like,
Yeah.
we'll have a phone call and talk.
Yeah, you can, give me a booty
Phone
call tonight.
sex. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
You
Those
like
were
that one?
good.
You like them?
I think, like, I've considered like what would happen if I was with a girl who liked Doctor Who. But if I've ever been romantically involved with a girl who has liked Doctor Who in the past, I famously saw a girl for a while who I picked up at the pub by naming every episode in order.
That is something. What is wrong with them?
I know, that's the thing. Like, everyone always says, like it would never get you anywhere. It did.
Yeah, okay.
But I made it very clear from the get-go that I knew more about the show than she did. And there was no conversation about it. I'm very strange like that. I'm like, you need to know this.
Yeah.
I think I did have a podcast. I did have this podcast at the time.
Right.
She wasn't a fan of it. Like, she found out through me. You know how weird people get about that kind of thing. She found out about the show through it. We were already a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
My girlfriend has so little interest in Doctor Who, which I think is often a good thing.
I like that. I would prefer that.
The other day, it was like first thing in the morning. I think I just got my Blu-ray Steelbook or whatever of the 60th.
Yeah.
So I was chucked on the giggle because that was the one I was up to. And she was like just waking up and on her phone, so she didn't mind that much at all. And she watched that and she was like, okay. She was asking a few questions. She was like semi into it, which was cool. And then that ended, and then I went like, Nick, look, to be honest, by tomorrow I need to have watched like all 4 episodes of what was the John Pertwee one we did recently?
Robot.
No, that was Tom Baker. What was the John Pertwee one we did? The Terror of the Autons.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, I got to watch all 4 of those by tomorrow. And she was like, okay. And I put one on, and then 5 minutes in, she was like, it's one thing to show me New Who.
Yeah.
You start showing me this shit.
That is kind of...
I'm going on TikTok. And I was like, yeah, I can't complain. What can I say?
You're just watching Doctor Who and you hear, whatever happened to...
Muckabag,
You've been using all the hits. You've been using all the hits.
I'm getting good at my TikTok game, mate.
Yeah. Quickly before we move into the review, what are your thoughts on the Church and Ruby Road Blu-ray? Will you be getting it?
No.
So, hang on. So you won't be getting the Blu-ray till probably August?
Yeah. I have Disney
Aidan,
fucking Plus, mate.
Are you happy? Are you okay to watch compressed audio and visuals on Disney Plus? Do you know what? Can I bring up something about that quickly?
Sure.
I've watched Church and Ruby Road 7 times. I'm not sure if I said that on the show. I know I have.
On Disney, yeah.
What did I say? I don't know what to say. Okay.
Just keep saying, yeah.
There is, when you start the episode, and again, I watched it 7 times, and it's the exact, like, when it starts, it's like buffered, and it's almost like rendering, and it's fuzzy, and then it clicks, and it goes into full 4K. It happened for me at the exact same spot every single time.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
The shot of the clock at the beginning, it would change every single time.
Mine tends to load from the start, really, but...
With your internet?
Internet down here in the studio is bad. Up in the house is good because we have like an extender thing that runs separately. It's a whole thing.
I think there must just be like a port issue. Something with a port.
Do you even know what that means?
Yeah, it's just the port.
Just the port.
They got him.
They got the port.
They got him.
They got the port wrong.
What did you think of the cover though?
Shit.
Why is that the cover?
I don't know. That should
Do
be,
they even care
if
anymore?
anything, that should be the cover of season 1, right?
I agree.
I think it's an average cover.
Well, maybe put Ruby on it as well.
Yes, for sure. But like at the end of the day,
Blu-rays, if you know what I mean.
It's like a
boys
basic
and girls.
It's like a basic promo image. You know, you'd want, I don't know, you'd want them like sat back to back on the pirate ship, or being flying up.
Have you seen the Target novel cover?
cover?
Everyone's saying that.
Like, why is it not that? That's so much more beautiful.
There's probably some people who work at the BBC who are like
sabotage,
just old fucks who don't understand culture. Like, if you hired us, it'd be fine. Like, does no one think this stuff through? I mean, they put so much care and love into the collection box sets. You'd think they'd handle this a bit better.
And just general, like, behind the scenes things that were on the latest 60th and stuff. There's so much behind the scenes stuff.
The 60th was handled fine. It's just stuff like these. I never understood the single...
The Christmas
particularly
releases.
when they're going to be in the set anyway.
Yeah. It got a little shitty... from Twice Upon a Time onwards, it was like Twice Upon a Time never got a season, wasn't released in a season.
That's right.
Which is fair enough. They wanted to pump out season 10, and there was a big gap between season 10 and the special. I get it, and I didn't want it in season 11, so fair enough.
That is a sticky situation.
It is.
So do you just have the Blu-ray?
I got rid, because I have season 10 twice, because I have it, the normal Blu-ray, and I have the Steelbook. And so I think what I did was, in the Steelbook one, I took out the bonus features disc, which is just like 12 episodes of Doctor Who The Fan Show by Crystal D.
Yeah.
And so I just took that out and put that into the normal season 10 box set, and then put Twice Upon a Time into the Steelbook.
Poor Crystal D. I am people did that.
When they smashed it?
Yeah,
that's a bit far.
Someone tagged, it was like snapped, and it was in the bin, and she was like, rude. Too far. Okay? And then, I do kind of get the joke, but it's a bit far.
Resolution weirdly got released on the Series 12 Blu-ray, rather than Series 11. They released Series 11 just as Series 11, and then Resolution as its own Blu-ray. And then a year and a bit later, when Series 12 Blu-ray came out, they released Resolution as the first episode of Series 12 on that Blu-ray. And then they never released Revolution of the Daleks on a Blu-ray, in a box set. It was always you could only get that as a separate one. So once again, luckily, I think season 12 is 5 discs, but the way they do Steelbook box sets now is, instead of having the flaps, they layer the discs on top of each other. And so, because it was 5s, you can layer up to 3. So I just got the Revolution of the Daleks disc and layered that into my Series 12 one.
Do you have a Steelbook for Eve, Sea Devils, and Power?
Yeah, they got it. Right. They did a special
Steelbook.
Steelbook.
That I understand, because there's 3 episodes.
Well,
These
I think
1 episode.
I think they should have just,
I don't know,
called that Steelbook the 13th Doctor specials, and just put all the New Year's specials on there as well.
Right.
Even if they're in like the wrong order, like because Fox and that's in between them, but it just would have made sense, I think, just to call it the Jodie Whittaker 13th Doctor specials or whatever.
This is what I mean by, like, if we ran it,
it would be a lot better, wouldn't it? Same with the world.
I don't know why I'm Gertie, because like I used to like, I could tell like 31 days sober from smoking today, by the way, folks.
You go con.
When I could tell, you could tell I was a smoker last year, because I was always like going, oh no, you could tell.
Smoking darts and breaking hearts.
Yeah, I smoked a few darts in my time. But yeah, today I have it, and I haven't, I'll tell you what I have got.
What do you got?
Nicotine spray.
Bit of the nick. There we go.
If you want to do the intro, I'll just have my nicotine spray.
You're going to spray yourself. Okay, so... like we said, gang, today we are talking about the Sarah Jane Adventures, Revenge of the Slitheen, which is...
Revenge of the Fallen.
The first serial of the first series of the British science fiction television series, The Sarah Jane Adventures, and the second story of the show overall. Sorry, I do need to stop talking when you whistle.
Why?
Because then they won't hear me talking.
I was cheering. That was a woo.
You! Anyways, it's the second story of the show overall, following the special episode Invasion of the Bane. The first part aired on the BBC One on 24th of September 2007, with the second premiering immediately after the first one on the CBBC channel.
Yeah.
What? So they jumped channels?
Wait, episode...
The first part aired on BBC One, with the second part airing immediately after the first, but on the CBBC. So you had to channel jump. The serial is notable for introducing Clyde Langer into the cast. He would remain there for the rest of the series. The plot is basically the Slitheen have returned to Earth.
Somehow, the Slitheen returned.
They are invading schools and building new classrooms in them. Meanwhile, it's back to school for the Sarah Jane Adventures gang. So you got Clyde, Maria, and Luke off to school first day of the term. It's Maria's first day at this new school. It's Luke's first day
Ever.
at school in general.
Ever, yeah.
So they're navigating that whole hellhole. Meanwhile, Clyde is also a bit of an outcast, but he likes to think he's a little cooler than he is and befriends these two and gets caught up in their Slitheen adventures.
Slitheen shenanigans.
You've seen this one before.
Have I seen this before? This is the best.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Can I get into it?
Yeah, man. I'd say I'd never seen this before this
Wait,
week.
what?
I've never seen this episode before.
Wait, are you
this
serious?
Week. This is my first time watching Revenge of the Slitheen.
Okay, are you serious?
Genuinely serious.
How did I not know that?
I don't know. But go on, tell me your thoughts.
Okay, alright. Revenge of the... Alright, the Virgin... Bane.
Invasion of the Virgin Bane.
The Virgin Invasion of the Bane versus the Chad Revenge of the Slitheen.
Right.
Okay. This episode... Look, you saw me review Invasion of the Bane.
You weren't happy.
Boring.
You were also very
Who
hungover.
cares?
So.
I had a few beers the night before. I've been known to drink a beer or two.
I'm no stranger to
the yeast.
the yeast. I'm no stranger to yeast.
I'm no stranger to yeast. No, this episode, bro, it's so great. This was my fucking childhood. I was telling my mum this on Tuesday. I was like, I rewatched this episode and I was like, I haven't seen it in a while. But as a kid, I was just infatuated by it. I was like, this is so great. I even remember, so I watched it on YouTube when it aired in the UK. I was obviously in Australia. And then eventually Nickelodeon, Nickelodeon. Yep, Nickelodeon. They picked up season 1.
Yeah, right.
And they were airing it in Australia. I remember seeing... You got to understand, like, for me as a kid, like, seeing Sarah Jane Adventures being advertised on, like, Nickelodeon in Australia, I was, like, telling my mates, I was like, yo... And just
seeing
like,
the Slitheen on, like, Foxtel would be crazy, right?
It was... And just having the Slitheen in it, I
was too busy watching Hannah Montana and iCarly, but...
waste of time. I was a SpongeBob and Drake and Josh kid, as you guys all know.
I was a Drake and Josh kid.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But this was I had a feeling you're going to be like, you probably didn't like it as much as me. But I have nothing bad to say about this episode because
Really?
I love it. I can't express enough to you just how much this episode means to me. It probably is. No, it is my favorite episode of Sarah Jane Adventures ever.
So starting with a bang, really.
I just love it. I think I joked about this before. This is where the show starts for me. We had that annoying...
Forget about Virgin of the Bane.
We had that annoying girl on the first one. Clyde is so much better.
Yes.
You know, it's like... It's not... For me, that isn't the start. Like, this for me is like the start.
Well, it's interesting because you have a lot of childhood love for it. So it's like revisiting that as an adult, probably hold a lot of that. And so maybe that's the reason why you love it. Or, like me, you can watch it for the first time and instantly love it.
Let's go.
Because I thought this was so much fun.
Yeah.
It is the energy of it, Alice Trouden's directing it.
Yeah, Mrs. Midnight herself.
Yeah, director of Midnight. So that's incredible. And I think she did a movie called The Lesson recently, which is meant to be quite good with Richard E. Grant.
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought the direction, a lot of Dutch tilts in there, the old
You love a
diagonal
Dutch,
angle shots.
Yeah.
But it was just so much fun, so much energy.
Yeah.
The characters were introduced so well. It's such a good jumping on point, other than maybe some references to Luke not being human. I don't know if that was explained that easily at the start, but kids will catch on with time. Kids don't need everything explained to them right at the start.
Because there was a big gap between...
This was September, I think it said.
Yeah, so that was what, 8 months?
Yeah, end of September, 24th of September.
So nearly 9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that big gap between that and the first special. Clyde, my God, the energy that Danny Anthony brings in, from the get-go.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great. The confidence, because he would have been, maybe 16 in this?
Yeah.
And he's just such a confident actor instantly in this.
Yeah.
And you look at characters like Luke and Maria, and those characters are meant to be a little bit more anxious and a bit more reserved. So maybe a little bit of that is from the cast or whatever. But Clyde, to work as a character, needs to be super confident. And I just cannot believe the confidence of this kid just coming out there.
Yeah, Clyde truly is great.
He's the GOAT, man.
Yeah, and I think particularly in part 2, I was like, wow, when you really see them all together with Sarah Jane, I was watching part 2 today, and I was like, I fucking love this.
Yeah. I've been itching to watch the next one.
I know. I was like, I fucking hate we have to wait another month, because I generally and there's so many great episodes in season 1.
Yeah, right.
Season 1 is very... Okay, so you've not seen season 1?
I think I've seen the next story.
Okay, how did I not know this? I thought you'd seen every season. Because
No.
I've seen 1 to 3.
Yeah.
And you've seen...
I've seen 1 to 3 on average. I'd say loosely. Every second episode of the series I've probably seen. I've probably seen 50% of the serials per season. Maybe I'll find out. Maybe I'll watch
Roll
season
credits.
3. Maybe I'll watch season 3 and realise I've seen all of them.
How much of the Trickster stuff have you seen?
I can't remember. I've seen the Sarah Jane Smith wedding one.
There's a killer one in season 1.
But
it's goated.
I've seen all of season 4. I don't think I saw any of season 5. So...
Wow, so we're both quite... Yeah, radical.
There's going to be some episodes we've never seen before. I remember watching the Doom one.
Yeah.
I think I saw the Sontaran one. But the thing is, a lot of these ones...
That's the season 2 opener, yeah.
I reckon there's a good chance that every episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures that I've seen, I've only seen once.
Okay.
And there's a few that I feel like I've seen, but I never watched properly. I seem to remember watching the one with the orange Slitheen, the Blatherine.
The Blatherine,
who got a name drop in this episode,
I noticed that. I was like, damn,
cool.
the Blatherine got mentioned. Yeah.
I remember watching that, but I also remember being a little bit confused as to what was going on. So maybe I was only watching part 2 of it or something like that. I don't know. So this is going to be a cool experience. And if the quality of episodes is anywhere near as good as Revenge of the Slitheen going forward, I think we're in for a good time.
It's perfect. They knew the kids watching were at school. I think it takes what School Reunion does and runs with it. There's even a
joke,
a beautiful mention to School Reunion where it's Slitheen and Downing Street, and then I think Maria's like, "What?" It's like, "Oh, nothing, just something an old friend told me." I'm like, this is the nerdy shit that I know in my head, and I appreciate that so fucking much.
There's also a reference to I think maybe Clyde says what? So there's monsters in the school or something like that, and Sarah Jane goes, "Oh. Yeah, that would be ridiculous, wouldn't it?" Or something like that. Obviously, because School Reunion is a very similar plot.
She says at the end, she's like, "Give my love for the brig."
Yes, of course.
Kind of
brig reference.
Even on Mr. Smith shows
did it show Satan from the
Satan's pit? It shows the Satan from the Satan's pit.
Mr. Briggs is Mr. Briggs.
And it also shows
Mr. Smith is yeah, I know that guy.
Oh, you probably have you seen the laser tag episode?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, so that's in season 1, and it shows the creature that's in that episode.
Okay.
I guess they had the template for
they could just
said creature. I think it just works so well, and I'm like, these characters are great. This show is brilliant. I love it. This episode is just the music is
beautiful.
It's actually fucking great. It's
beautiful. Instantly,
it's
that
so good.
obviously there's got the theme song, which I think is composed by Murray Gold, right? But the actual like Sarah Jane's theme, like in the show, like in the episode, is so sweet and beautiful, and just reminds me of home. It's so nice. Any scene set in Bannerman Road, I just feel like safe, and like I'm a little 8-year-old revisiting like my nana in the UK or something. Yeah. Like it is so beautiful, and just like it fills me with nostalgia without even having seen this episode before.
I know you're a huge Saltburn fan.
Yeah, I like Saltburn quite a lot.
Sorry, I meant to say After Sun, and I said Saltburn.
Okay, I know I'm a huge After Sun fan.
After Sun fan,
yeah. The movie, not the cream.
The dad and
I do like the cream.
daughter relationship.
Right, the old like divorced father with a young daughter relationship.
There you go.
Yeah,
I think it works here so well. Like it's just sweet.
That's
it's
such
a nice
niche
vibe.
Reference. You should all watch After Sun.
And I haven't even seen After Sun, and I know that.
If you want to cry, watch After Sun.
I've seen it on binge. I'm going to watch it one day.
It's on binge?
Huh?
Just get the booby Blu-ray. Anyways.
I'm a simp, you know?
The father-daughter
I think it works, you know? I think it's beautiful. And it's like, I love the
dickhead mum.
Yeah, you know, she's like, I'm going out with the taekwondo. She's like fucking some taekwondo guy. And you know what here's what I'll say. This is what shows don't get these days, you know? Like, I think... You know, I know Farry's mentioned this. I think every Doctor Who fan mentioned this. Like when Farry's was on the pod, he mentioned this. Like, I think Sarah Jane Adventures definitely was a more mature show for a kids TV show.
It's
like
an interesting balance.
Like, yeah, you know, it's like a divorced. But like, you know, do you know how many people in the UK who have
divorced parents?
Yeah, you know, like they would relate to that and love it.
It's like
Clive even mentions. Sorry, not trying to cut you off. Sorry, Clive even mentions like his dad, and says like.
Yeah, right.
And not to spoil anything, but there is a story with Clive's dad.
Yeah.
I think it's in season 2.
Yep.
And it's really good.
Yep.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? Luke doesn't have parents, and the surgeon. It's like, kids can relate to this shit. Sorry,
I think they're so good at dealing with more adult themes, but bottling it in a kid's show. So that they're not afraid to do these more adult themes. Because it's like, yes, they're dealing with adult themes, and then all of a sudden you have Slitheen going, which I thought was incredible.
Lights out, London, dude. It's so wacky.
Slitheen.
Like, oh my god.
You know what? What's better, Revenge of the Slitheen or Aliens of London World War 3? I couldn't tell you.
They're both very great. Like it is.
What do you think of the Slitheen and their portrayal in this episode, both as the alien Slitheen and as the humanoid Slitheen?
It gets me harder than Portland cement, Aidan. I love it. This is just my childhood.
Gets you harder than a weeping angel.
Yes, it's so great. Like the Slitheen are wacky ass people. Like the skin suit thing is so funny. It's like, and you know, like are the actors dialing it up to 110? Yeah, they are. And I'm so there for it.
I love it.
It's goofy, it's silly, and dude, the child Slitheen. Can I tell you, when I was a kid, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. When I was a kid, and that episode ended with I am the child of the Slitheen, and this is my hunt. My mind exploded.
Dude.
I was like, yo!
I was about to say, I've had that exact experience as a 25-year-old.
Wait, so you didn't know that?
I didn't know that. Literally.
Yo! It's insane. It's like, what the
This
fuck?
kid who they'd shown like once or twice throughout the episode getting bullied or whatever, he's like there to help, and you're like, oh, cool, they're going to give this kid like a redemption arc. Motherfucker rips his head open. Baby Slitheen comes out. I was sent. Like, genuinely, I was like frothing out the mouth. Like,
it's brilliant.
This is brilliant.
It's so good.
It's so, and I love the voice. The kid even just hammers it up as well in their voice with it.
I love it up, man. I love it.
It's a bit silly, but like the baby Slitheen like running around, those shots are funny.
Yeah, it's great.
They shot the Slitheen pretty well when they were hunting. I like that they describe that it's a bit of a hunt, a bit more than I feel like they did in the Sarah Jane in Doctor Who. Because Doctor Who, you see them hunt, you see them good at smelling. There's great like CGI shots of them like breaking down doors, and like there's the iconic shot of it like jumping through Downing Street from like a side angle. That looks cool. But they don't talk like this is my hunt, at least from my memory. And so it was great to sort of hear a bit more about that, see that stuff. The one thing I say about like Alien Slitheen stuff is I think in Doctor Who they are conveyed a little bit more intimidating.
Well, like, there's that terrifying screech that.
Yeah,
which terrified me. Yeah,
and they're more, I want to say, agile in Doctor Who, like the way that they do like burst through doors with CGI versions. Obviously, this did not have the budget for CGI Slitheen, so I'm not gonna demote points from the episode for that, but I do think the Slitheen was slightly less intimidating in Sarah Jane Adventures, which is fair enough. It's a fucking kids show.
Yeah. Well, and I think as well, like having the kid Slitheen is like, it's like, yeah, this is a kid's show. We'll have a kid Slitheen, and the practical suits.
They look good.
I'm so there for it. I love it. I just like they made the look. Yes, they bought the suits over from Doctor Who, but they made the kid one.
They made the kid one, and
it looks great.
Might have just been the way they coloured it. I don't know. But did you think that they looked a lot more greener, like a more vibrant green in this?
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder if they recoloured the skins a little bit of them.
I don't know if it was like just me being extremely dehydrated watching the episode today.
You got thirsty watching the Slitheen.
No, I got a bit scared because when I was a kid, they scared me, and I'm at home by myself, and I'm like,
why am I attracted to this?
What if there's a Slitheen here? It's just like, dude. Okay, all right. So, look, I guess I'll this is like the old days where I would run through the plot.
Yeah, you'll be better at this than I will be for this episode because I've only watched it once.
We have the new year starting. Everyone can relate. Literally, in Australia, kids went back to school this week. So this is almost like, this is such a good time to be reviewing
we
this.
did the New Year's one on New Year's.
Dude, look at us.
We're back to school with
this was unplanned
with the kids.
Yeah, the kids will be listening to this next week in math class.
Hey there, fellow students.
Hey, fellow kids. If there's anyone in Australia listening to this, ain't in class right now, shout us out on Twitter. They go, the setup, with like the new building, the food being off.
Oh, Clyde.
Just eat around it. Just eat around it.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Clyde had a lot of funny lines this episode as well.
Yes.
I kept meaning to write them down, but kept forgetting to.
He really just works. Like, it's that dynamic again. And eventually when Sarah Jane joins in part 2.
Yep.
It's incredible. But yeah, just like...
final piece of the puzzle.
It's... I love how Luke does like the math equation.
Yeah.
The scene where Maria's in the classroom and it's like the teacher comes in and she's hiding on the desk. Cliched as it is, just the nostalgia, like just seeing the skin drop.
Yeah.
It's me brilliant.
They didn't have the same sound effect, did they? They're like from Doctor Who, did they? That wasn't there. Some licensing issues between the CBBC and BBC, I suppose.
You reckon?
Well, I don't know. Why would the sound not be there? I don't know how that works. Maybe it was too expensive of a sound.
Purely too much trauma, I think, from
maybe
watching the episode Aliens in London and World War III.
Maybe.
Trauma. I do like as well how, we see Sarah Jane doing very similar to what she did in the Virgin Invasion of the Bane, where she went to investigate. She's investigating.
Oh, she gets a great scene with the Lady Slitheen.
Yeah. The hunt scene when she's running after Sarah Jane, the cliffhanger. It's
gold.
What a sensational piece of television.
Of kids' television, might I add.
I love it. Like, I know this is written by Gareth Roberts.
I figured as an ongoing joke throughout the podcast. Because Gareth Roberts writes so many of the Sarah Jane Adventures. I think whenever we say Gareth Roberts' name from now on, we should go Gareth Roberts. Like, we shouldn't say his name properly.
It is mostly Phil Ford and Gareth Roberts. So, we're going to hear that a lot. And you obviously know how we stand on... We love everyone in that community.
Except Gareth Roberts.
I'm saying we don't agree with the comments.
Yes.
I know we're praising the episode. That might upset some people, how much we love it. But you know how we feel about those topics. Obviously.
I hate to say it, but Gareth Roberts did a really good job writing this episode.
Yeah,
it is a really good...
Yeah.
I know it's not a pilot, but, that opener...
I did just want to... I was talking about this in the car. I do just want to say that once. Like, I know we're going to be reviewing a lot of episodes by him. I apologise. That's a bit triggering.
And we're not going to say it again. Other than saying his name is Gareth Roberts.
That's what I'm saying. Just to let you know, we are going to probably praise a few episodes. I know he writes, like, all the tricks to shit, which is, like, obviously really great. But, like, you know how we sound on it. But, yeah. It's a shame because it is really good.
I love the little... character beat of Sarah Jane still coming to terms of having a kid and she's just sort of like thrown into the deep end having a kid. She's on her own. She's technically a single mom dealing with Luke.
Yeah, don't call me mum.
So she doesn't know how to deal with that whole situation. Meanwhile, she's like sees Maria and her dad, and her dad is a fantastically charming actor as well.
Follow him on Twitter.
Their like she sees their interactions and she's like, I want that with Luke. And then she sort of slowly learns how to build that interaction. And we're not there yet with it, but I'm sure that's, she's taken the first steps in this episode. I'm sure we'll see that develop over the next few seasons.
Yeah, well, Clyde had probably his first emotional beat at the end when he says to Sarah, like, is he still calling you Sarah Jane? Like, say, call me mum.
Yeah. Wise Clyde. That's what I've always called him.
Is Frank Skinner voicing Mr. Smith? Who's voicing Mr. Smith again?
I don't know who's the voice of Mr. Smith.
Isn't it someone big? Is it Frank Skinner?
It's Alexander Armstrong.
Oh fuck! Wasn't he in an episode of Doctor Who?
Oh,
am I tripping?
Alexander Armstrong is the host of Pointless.
Can you show me a picture of him?
This guy. I've seen that because every now and then my mum watched Pointless, so I've seen it in the background before.
Yeah, Mr. Smith is the GOAT.
Mr. Smith, he's the GOAT. I do need him, to be fair.
How did you feel? Because this sent me as a kid as well. Like the power cut that also drained batteries and the candles. That dude, when I saw the candles, I was like, "Yo, we're in some deep shit here."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's fine. The plot is like a bit thin. What were they? They wanted to like burn the planet or something. They
similar to what they were trying to. Well, Slitheen in like Aidan's Line in World War III were trying to basically like destroy the planet through missiles, and then they would salvage remains to sell. They're scavengers. Like they kill the population and then try and find stuff to sell.
Yeah, so that's basically the same plot, isn't it?
Last time it was nuclear warheads. This time it's turning off the sun and power, and everyone will just die.
That's right. And this time there's a bit of a revenge element in it as well.
Yes, they mentioned how
Slitheen were killed.
Last time they came, they were all killed. Correctamundo. Yeah.
So that's
great
great
connections.
That's all been addressed. Yeah, great connections.
They don't treat the audience like idiots, and I appreciate that.
No idiots here.
I always got the references even when I was a dumbass kid. Like I got all the reference. I know I was a bit of a Doctor Who nerd, but I still got them.
Was that plot enough for you though, or the turning off the sun? Did it give you enough to get through? And what did you think of turning off the sun?
Was it enough for me, Aidan? Bro, yes. Of course, I'm there.
You've been fed like a chunky Slitheen.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously, I can fully admit that I have pure nostalgia for this episode, and like it's gonna take a lot for me to say something bad about it. I think the plot is great. I think it works. I definitely look at this episode through rose-colored glasses. Like I'm not trying to say like it's completely flawless, but it's very similar to early New Who for me. Like I literally said to my mum, I was like, I guarantee you, like if I was watching this for the first time, like I probably would have more issues with it. But like I mean,
me watching for the first time, I didn't. The whole sun turning off thing, it's a bit bullshit, but it works for me. Like it all works, and same with when we do give a score for the end. I am looking at this as a kids show, like that. I'm not going to compare any of the scores I give to the Sarah Jane Adventures to the scores I give to Doctor Who, because Doctor Who's more adult, deals with more adult themes, and you've also got to look at like the big budget differences and stuff like that. Like Sarah Jane Adventures is made on like $2 versus Doctor Who. Reading once again, I'm going to bring it up. Reading the Writer's Tale, Russell was saying at the time of doing season 4 and the specials and all that, they were doing the scripts for season 3 of the Sarah Jane Adventures, and they couldn't figure out how to make the money for the series, how to make it work. And Russell was saying that if it came to it, they were going to have to limit the show to 5 sets per episode, and so it would be like one day you shoot on this set, the next day you shoot on this set, next day you do location on Bannerman Road, and it was going to be like that restricted because of how tight the budgets are. Like
surely though the BBC for a show that's on like season 3, they'd be like, hey, we know people are going to tune into this if we spend a bit more money on it. Like
it's still a kids show, and I think that's why Russell said it a few months ago, like he's not interested in making a kids spin-off for Doctor Who, because I just don't think there's that much money, or not enough money in that area to do it properly.
Yeah, I do recall though, as a kid who did grow up watching it, I remember it was like a huge vibe. I remember everyone talking about it. Everyone really loved it. Like,
it was big.
I guess like, so you had that whole sun thing. I guess like, what are your thoughts on the whole idea of a returning villain? Obviously, we have nostalgia for the Slitheen. It's very easy to.
I think it's great. I think, you know, it's easy to put a familiar face. It's easy to get Martha jumping. I say it's easy. You got to do actor schedules and stuff, of course. But, you know, that's like the easy thing to get audiences to jump over, because this character's been bouncing between shows. But I think people don't give enough credit to how iconic some Doctor Who villains are. And that, you know, I know this doesn't happen, but if the Daleks rocked up in an episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures, could you imagine the hype? And I don't want that, because I think those bigger villains should be reserved for Doctor Who. But when you see like Slitheen rock up, and it's a minor but still very iconic villain. Same with the Jadoon. I know they show up. Same with the Sontarans.
I think that's it though.
No, but either way, like all three of them, they're like minor Doctor Who villains, but they're iconic. And so, like as a kid, I remember watching the start of the Jadoon one. I don't think I ever finished it, but I remember watching part 1 of the Jadoon one purely because it was the Jadoon one, and I wanted to watch the one with the Jadoon because I like Smith and Jones that much.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that those connections are important, and often might be more important and a lot cheaper than bringing over actors from like bringing in Martha.
Definitely, yeah. I get that. Like, look, I'm sure some people can be like, oh, it was cheap to bring in like the Slitheen for episode 1, but I think that it brings audiences in, it brings kids in. Yeah. Like you just said, like I watched it because the Jadoon were in it. It's like, yeah, I watched it because the Slitheen were in it. Like, you know, but
big vibe.
It gave me a very entertaining episode that I would just not shut up about.
Yeah, fair.
Like for a long time.
I keep thinking about it. I'm so itching. I'm
really
so
good.
Desperate to put in the next DVD. I cannot wait till, you know, the start of next month when we're watching the next one, Eye of the Gorgon or something.
Yes.
Gorgon or whatever.
I got the books for the first 4 as well. So I read the Slitheen novel as well as a kid. Like, cool. And I had stories 1 to 4. And yeah, I just like, I have like obviously fat nostalgia for it, but it's goated.
The thing is, I don't really remember the plot or any of the things from the next episode, but I do distinctly remember that like mansion-y castle, like that exterior shot that was in the Next Time trailer. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I know I've seen this next one. Like I really recognized it. So
yeah, the main villain's like really scary. Again, that's what I respect. Like it doesn't. Because I remember watching being like, oh, you know, I still watch Doctor Who. Like, I do want to have a bit of scares here and there. And Sarah Jane never, for me, felt too kiddish. Like, and it handled certain topics I think, you know, kids would appreciate. Like, again, don't treat your audience like idiots. Like, even if your audiences are kids, you know, you look at kids' movies, like, there's a reason why movies like Toy Story and stuff that have been out for years and years and years. There's a reason why someone like my nephew George loves Toy Story and I love Toy Story at his age. It's because it's a great story about like friendship, and it has a message behind it.
Yeah,
you
which
know?
This very much
it has.
Does.
Yeah, it has heart. And there's a reason why these stories live on, rather than I watched the Paw Patrol movie with George. It was terrible. Do you really think you're gonna be watching that in 20 years? Like, hell no. Like, you have to have heart between it. You know?
Can you believe we're reviewing this? You know, we used to say we were reviewing a kids show from the 2000s when we were doing our 2005 Doctor Who reviews. Now we're really reviewing a kids show from the 2000s.
This is like, a kids show. Yeah,
this is crazy.
But it's like, I guess. Sorry, my final little point. I guess is like, you can. It's like, like. If it's done right and it's done well, it's like, I will happily review a kid's show because it's done with heart and done really well, you know?
It's done so well.
Yeah.
The one sort of, it's not a negative, it was just sort of a feeling I had when I finished the episode, right? Was that I didn't feel like Clyde had necessarily earned his place in the group yet. Purely on, like, looking at it in terms of what he did. Like he gave The closest thing to what he does is give Sarah Jane that advice at the end, right? Mm-hmm. But in terms of like going on the adventure, fighting the Slitheen, Luke gets to go on a cool little redemption arc because he accidentally, as he's learning social norms, he accidentally solves the Slitheen's problem, and so has to go and fix that. And he's the one to fix that, to break it, to redeem himself.
He almost didn't know that it was going to be used for what it was used for, which ended up like messing up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Clyde is along for the ride the whole time. He does make some comment about vinegar, but to be honest, they all kind of workshop that together. I think I just needed like Clyde to save Luke or save Maria or save Sarah Jane at some point, just because in the action he's just sort of part of it. And I'm not sure how they deal with that next week. If he keeps like pushing himself to come along on these sci-fi adventures or something like that. But I kind of wanted a bit more of like a Clyde hero moment to solidify himself as part of the group, if you know what I mean. Like Rose saving the Doctor in Rose. It's a moment that makes you go, like, that's one of the heroes of this show. I don't think we've got that from Clyde yet. He's just been along for the ride. A good ride, and he's been fun in that whole vibe. Like, I don't have a problem with him, but I think there's just a slight beat I would have liked to have seen from him there. Yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, I totally get that. I think it is funny seeing like the Next Time trailer and you're like, oh, so I guess it's like, when I was younger, I was like, oh, I guess this like kid is now part of the group. You know, it's like, okay, like I suppose so. Like, you know, he's just kind of there now. Like he knows, so now he's part of the group.
Yeah,
he knows the secrets of aliens.
It's crazy for me. There's a few episodes I know where they're placed in the season. But for the most part, I don't. Yeah, no. To be honest, 99% of the episodes, I don't know where they come, what order the seasons are in, or anything like that. I think the only one I really know is that season 2 starts with the Sontaran one and ends with the Bane and and the Brigadier. Other than that, I don't think I know like any ordering. I know a few of the season 4 ones.
I think 301 is Judune.
Is it? Right, the premieres, they like to bring in old villains, I suppose.
I think. I could be completely wrong.
Either way, my point being is that in each Next Time trailer, I'm genuinely like, what's on next week? Like, it's a genuine surprise for me. And like for this one, like either Gorgon or whatever, like as much as I say, I think I watched this one as a kid, I couldn't tell you anything about it. Like, I'm not going to know what's going on. I'm going to be surprised each twist and turn the story takes next week. So watching the Next Time trailer, I am like, whose face? What is the face under the mask? I don't know.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
I'm enjoying. It's like living through like 2007 Doctor Who for the first time. It is such a fun experience for me right now.
Yeah, I very much held off. Obviously, I haven't watched Sarah Jane in like nearly 4 years because of this show.
Had you watched them before?
How did I watch them before?
No. When did you last watch these?
God, it would have been a very long time ago.
So it's more than 3 or 4 years.
Well, what I'm trying to say is like when we started the pod, I didn't want to watch because I watched stuff for the pod.
Right, both of us.
Unless we're talking Ice Warriors. Yeah. I watched half, I swear. No, I haven't. So since we started this show, I haven't watched a single until I did watch Revenge of the Slitheen and Enemy of the Bane. But yeah, I can't remember. It must have been. I know I've got season 1 and 2 on a box set.
Yeah.
Season 3 I watched on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I watched season 1 and 2 on YouTube, but then eventually I got the box set. I think either my nan or my auntie sent it over.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it would have been. I do recall. God, maybe 5 years ago, coming back from work, like after I left school, coming back from work one day and being like, oh, I remember that great episode I used to watch as a kid, and it was Revenge of the Slitheen. I do recall watching it on like someone had like ripped the VOD and it was on like YouTube, and I rewatched it. So that would have been like 5 years ago. Apart from that, I haven't watched any other episodes for fucking years.
And for me, I remember because I know so little about a lot of these stories. So much of this is new to me, which is crazy to me as like a massive Doctor Who fan to just not have revisited this show.
Well, that's how I feel about the classics. So.
But we started this in 2020, and ever since, like I reckon, even in the season 1 days, we were saying we're going to do Sarah Jane Adventures one day. We're going to do it one day, and ever since then, I've been like monitoring on Amazon the box set because I knew I wanted the physical box set to go on the shelf. And so I was always monitoring it to just like see if it came on sale, and if it came on sale, I'd buy it easy. I'd buy it early and just wait until we got around to doing it. And then it got to the point like 3 years later in like September last year where I was like, shit, I actually need to buy this fucking
It's
box
time.
set now. It's time.
Yeah.
And it was on sale, so I bought it. And I love having that box set. I love putting the discs in it. It's got the old school like DVD menus. You know how like the old school Doctor Who DVDs, it's like in the TARDIS and it's like cool VFX.
Yeah.
It's sort of a similar vibe where it's in the attic.
It's in the attic, isn't it, with Mr. Smith and stuff?
Which is just so damn beautiful. Don't get that shit anymore.
You know, I think like, I mean, obviously it's insane like how long we've been doing the show for. It's like, I think we needed to like get through a Doctor Who, but it's like, I'm just so glad we're here because
so glad we're here.
It took a while to get there. I know we've been talking about it for like fucking years, but it's like now that we're actually here, it feels great. It's sad that we have to wait another month, but
very quickly, what were the biggest slogs for you in reviewing Doctor Who?
What, for the show?
Yeah, like when
the podcast.
Because we did it basically weekly for 3 years.
There was a time in season 6 where I felt like you didn't want to do it anymore.
There was a time in season 6 when I didn't want to do it anymore. No, it's not that I didn't want to do the podcast anymore. It was that I was getting really just fed up with the episodes in certain parts of season 6, and it was that's for me. It's like getting through that was a slog, and then getting through parts of Jodie's era.
Oh my goodness,
felt like a bit of a slog. Not in a way like I enjoyed doing the pod. But some of the episodes, I'm just not in the mood. And I don't mind Jodie's era, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, look, you know, obviously we're humans who have lives. And, you know, we've been doing it for 4 years and we come in some days feeling better or worse, you know. Yeah, I guess I had slogs last year. There's a full video on it.
Coming out.
I think that's the whole idea that what makes that vid so interesting. It's like it's like the human aspect of it.
This is Conor's video that is coming out someday soon on the podcast channel. He's been saying since I was in Japan that it's coming out.
Does this video even exist?
It's been coming out next week for the last month. So we'll see.
I'm hesitant. I guess I'm a bit hesitant to upload it because it's like it is a bit personal, but like, you know, it's like I am a bit worried to put it out into the world, but it feels like my baby that's gonna go out there, and I think people are gonna really enjoy it. Is it my last video ever? Maybe. Is my pitch? You know,
who knows? Is that the title? My last ever Doctor Who YouTube video.
The title is interesting. The title is interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you got to put it out there. So I shared the poster to my film to you yesterday.
Yes.
You were very kind about that. It's only a draft. It will change a little bit, but that was the first draft of it.
Yeah, I'm always supportive. You know, I'm always kind. I think I like to support my friends in their projects.
Connor's reply was "Where's my fucking name?" Because Connor does
as a joke.
I know.
Yeah,
and then I edited it with Connor's
obviously,
name.
like, you know, I didn't expect to be on the. Although they do that normally. I know you just put the 2 main cast.
Yeah.
Normally they do. I guess it's not. It's
you have one speaking line.
More than that, I ad-libbed a bit. So what are you folks doing here? Was one of my lines.
Was that one of the things you ad-libbed?
Is that on the cotton room floor?
Probably, yeah.
You cut it.
Because I'm not familiar with that line, so...
Crumbs. But yeah, it'll be out. It'll be out.
Your video will be out soon.
Yeah.
Okay, Connor, can you give me a rating for Revenge of the
9
Slitheen?
out of 10.
Damn it. You know...
It's so... I love it. There's no other explanation.
I'm keeping in mind it's a kid's show. Do I think it's on the same level as some 9s that I gave Doctor Who episodes? No. But...
You're a 9 in my eyes, Aidan.
As a kid's show, I'm going to give Revenge of the
Slitheen
an 8.5.
Wow.
I think I really, really loved it. I was on for it. On board for the ride, you know?
Okay.
I'm going to reserve my 9s and 10s with this for when we do start to deal with... Because I know, like, The Curse of Clyde Langer, I know there's some episodes out there that do... You know, your Human Nature Family of Bloods. You know what I mean? Like, your ones that are a little bit dark and heavy and deal with some really serious stuff. And
do I have an episode in season 2 for you that you're going to love.
Clyde's dad.
Yeah. But yeah, I can I just say also, like, I would have remembered if you said you'd never seen it. So that was a good
reveal.
Surprise. It was a good surprise. I would have definitely remembered. But yeah, I guess now I can say it's like, do you definitely feel like this is so much better of an opening episode than Enemy of the Bane?
Just on enjoyment wise, yes.
Yeah, it's so much better.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I said in that review, like, to me, this is the opener. Like,
yeah. And it as much as I don't want to say Enemy, was it Invasion of the Bane?
Whenever we messed this up in the review, we kept changing
getting it wrong. As much as I feel like the New Year's special does feel like a Sarah Jane Adventures episode, I feel like Revenge of the Slitheen feels a lot more like a Sarah Jane Adventures episode. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense. It just, like, I got the vibe of Sarah Jane Adventures from the special, but then from these 2 episodes, I was like, okay, now we're cooking. Like, I know exactly what Sarah Jane Adventures is.
Oh, even when I was a kid, like when I'd already watched the first season, and I went to go show my sister. She saw from the episode menu that I skipped Enemy or Invasion of the Bane, or the fuck it's called, and went to go to Revenge of the Slitheen. She was like, oh no, put on that one. I was like, nah, trust me, like, this is the episode you need to watch. Like, no, I want to watch them all. I was like, no, you won't like it. She finished that Bane, and she said, that wasn't good. I don't want to keep watching. I said, no, trust me. Mm-hmm. I agree. That's what I was trying to say before. This is me as a kid. I was like, watch Revenge of the Slitheen. She watched that, loved it, and we watched the rest of the season together.
Banging.
That's where it's at. I said, like, this is, to me, this is the opening. This is the opening for the series.
Banger of an episode, guys. Next time
on the 50% Doctor Who podcast, we are doing. Who knows?
Well, no, what we are going to do.
Fuck knows?
I've thought about this, Connor.
I have no idea.
And you're gonna hate it a little bit. We're jumping back to the classic era once again.
Are you kidding? No.
What else have we?
I can't. Can I just say, like, watching this was like, it was such a dream. I was like, oh my god, I was excited to watch it. Like, fucking Robot and Autons. Like, oh my god, like, sign me up for like Chemical Crash Station or some
Electric
shit.
Chair.
Like, no, that's the wrong thing. Sign me up for Euthanasia. Fuck. Sign me up for it.
Next week.
Yeah.
Ark in Space. Iconic Doctor Who story, that one. It's
the
next story in season 12. Because we're going to be juggling. It's sort of like, until the new season comes out, it's going to be every second week is a classic Who story. That's how it's going to have to work, all right? It's the only way to keep the lights on, mates. Keep the wheels rolling.
For the majority of this year?
For a lot of this year.
What on God's... What did I sign up for?
Can I say...
Did I do something wrong in my life that I have to do this? Like, is this me being punished?
We have said that we are still trying to figure out this new format for the show and seeing how it works in terms of...
I think we're doing a good job.
Weekly. We want to have like a bit of a... We want to have a format that you can sort of know what you're coming in for weekly. It was a lot easier when we were just reviewing Doctor Who from start to finish because you knew what you were signing up for each week. Whereas this... If you're not so familiar with the format, you might be surprised that we're doing Sarah Jane Adventures this week. Oh, we're doing a topic ranking video this week. We're trying to find that format. And so if it does feel like over the last month and maybe next month that we are jumping all over the place, just bear with us. We're finding our feet.
I think people are fine. I don't think there's an issue.
Well,
people seem to be really enjoying it.
Maybe I just have an issue.
I think people are, from what I've heard, people are really loving it. Like, I thought we would lose people because we're doing classic stuff.
But no, they've done all right.
People love it. Like, people seem to watch the classics, which, I don't know, you're all nuts. Mm-hmm. You're as crazy as a coconut in my eyes, but...
If you guys want to chuck any thoughts on the Ark in Space, chuck them down below on the YouTube video, and I might just read them out when we review the Ark in Space. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor, on TikTok at 50Doctor Who. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a juicy 5-star review on Spotify. Give us your money on Ko-fi. Hit that thanks button. Subscribe.
Conor, any last words? That's what we always do.
Conor, any last words?
I just have one thing to say. Free Palestine.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
That just randomly came up.
It's Aidan.
We're so good at doing it at the same time.
And Conor's podcast. They're doing Doctor Who reviews.
No, we're not. Sarah Jane reviews.
Let's go back to the top.
It's Aidan and Connor's podcast. We're doing Sarah Jane reviews.
Doing Sarah Jane reviews. I love Elizabeth Sladen.
She really is like we didn't say that. She's a treasure.
No,
she's
amazing.
Beautiful in it, man.
Amazing.
She's stunning. She was stunning in Robot. She's stunning in this. She's
incredible.
She's
what a talent.
Yeah, well, we send our love to you, Liz. We miss you. We love you, and I hope you're safe up there.